What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should like and sub, and let's get into this. Bo DeMayo has dropped, well, not receipts with a capital R, but certainly a lovely trailer for all the receipts. He's responded and explained a lot of the situation he was dealing with, and it's almost exactly what we were all thinking, at least me and our group that were covering this and had talked to him and had been looking at the whole situation. And so here we go. Bo DeMayo originally being removed from the first season the night before the premiere by Disney with no explanation given, just saying, no, we parted ways amicably. I wouldn't say he was fired. We've just parted ways, right? And then Bo went on to talk and post things, and they started seeing those as contract violations. And then he went on shows like Gooch's Diabolical Souls Presents, where for over an hour he got vetted basically by a bunch of X-Men nerds who went back and forth, tit for tat, if you will, over the comics and the lore. Bo knew everything. He is absolutely a fan of the X-Men, and I believe he put his all into the TV show, which is exactly why they got rid of him, because we all guessed, oh no, they wanted him to woke it up, to do it even more. And don't get me wrong, he took his pound of flesh. He took his moments to put what he wanted to into, but he also knew that he was the shepherd for the whole series. So characters like Cyclops and others got real glow-ups, and it turns out that might be some of the problem. So the last straw for this particular one was when he posted a shirtless picture of the X-Men Cyclops, him as a Cyclops, I can speak, for gay pride, and that apparently pissed them off and got them to remove his credit for the second season, and then announced that the original reason he was left was because of the egregious nature of findings in an internal investigation. When we talked to Bo about this, he said this is going to be a hit campaign. They got stuff just waiting to come out. It is not true. Just wait for it, and I'll be coming out with my side of the story. Now, fortunately, he chose to do that on OnlyFans and have people pay $9.99. Thankfully, Variety paid that and has most of what he said. Would I have done it that way? No. Can I understand why he did it that way? Yeah, because maybe he didn't want to put it on any of these other social media platforms that could have been taken down. And if you want to go the money route, yeah, he's probably not getting hired by anyone lately, so he might as well get something out of it. I don't think 60 minutes or anything like that are trying to pay for this interview. So the main things that Bo says he had to deal with are right here. DeMayo alleges, and it helps if I put on the damn screen, DeMayo alleges that his identity as a gay black man was weaponized by Marvel execs and select crew members to undermine him and use the same dog whistling stereotypes favored by bigots for decades. He's big, he's intimidating, too opinionated, angry, emotional, flamboyant, dramatic, a pervert. And having talked to Bo, he is definitely flamboyant, not a negative. DeMayo alleges that he fought Marvel executives over his desire to adapt storylines from previously published X-Men comic book runs rather than create brand new stories for the show as they desired. He was called uncollaborative, too difficult, and too much of a fanboy. They openly resented me fighting for the fans. And since they openly resent the fans, that checks out. And yeah, also checks out that instead of the beautiful storylines we got that come from the comics, they wanted him to do entirely new things. DeMayo alleges that executives painted him as abusive when he declined to have the character of Jubilee make gang signs or paint the sky with plasmoids in the shape of a middle finger. He alleges there are near criminal working conditions for visual effects and animation artists at Marvel, and that the people who worked on X-Men 97 were rapidly losing weight. When he emailed Marvel leadership about this issue, he experienced retaliation. And if you want further proof of that, have you noticed all the complaints about how visual effects have gone downhill in the past 10 years? How they actually look worse than over a decade ago? That's because of what DeMayo was just talking about. This is why Victoria Alonso was fired. The rushing, the not giving the time, the constant changing of direction for VFX artists is insane. And it has led to not just a burnout and a complaint of that industry, but you see the results now that 9 times out of 10, CGI looks like shit in a lot of modern productions. And that's because of what Bo is bringing to light right there. And I think here's where we also get into the corruption on Disney's part beyond just wanting to ruin the show. DeMayo alleges he notified a producer on X-Men 97 that one of our leads is having a potentially exploitative sexual relationship with a production assistant, and the producer buried his report and informed the individual in question of DeMayo's complaint. He alleges that that same X-Men 97 producer repeatedly joked to the crew that he had showed DeMayo's thirst traps on Instagram to his underage son, and the kid is wondering, do they need to buy Bo a shirt for Christmas? Yeah. DeMayo alleges that an artist on X-Men 97 repeatedly denounced all men as jerks and accused DeMayo of failing the cause because he kept a male character, Cyclops, the leader of the X-Men. And one of the big takeaways from the show is how much love Cyclops got, how he's sort of a lame duck to a lot of us in the original series, but he actually got us not only liking, respecting him, but wanting to see more of him. And oh, that was not going to happen if it was under Disney. He alleges that the lead artist on the show told him at a company barbecue in 2021 that her husband felt that I must get a lot of dick based upon how I look. I think this is going to paint the culture that he was working at. This is an ironic one. When DeMayo requested contacting producers of RuPaul's Drag Race about promoting X-Men 97, he alleges he was told by Marvel that they wouldn't want to alienate certain audiences. Well, I don't know where the hell that was for other shows like Ahsoka or Acolyte or anything like that, but okay. DeMayo alleges that Marvel's PR department listed homosexuality as a hot button issue to avoid alongside school shootings, the Gaza conflict, and abortion. And then finally, and this is getting to what the last straw was for him, DeMayo alleges that Marvel executives joked in front of DeMayo that they had hired a young Wesley Snipes to write on Blade. One of the reasons I wanted to do this video is that you can see that Wesley Snipes and I look nothing alike. So yeah, Bo DeMayo was hired for the Blade movie, the Mahershala Ali Blade movie, while being done with the first and second seasons and talking about the third season of X-Men 97. So everything was going fine. DeMayo says the last straw for him was when he arrived at the production offices of Blade at Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta and was told that someone needed to crack the whip around here. He alleges that on September 6, 2022, he sent his concerns about what he saw as prejudicial conditions on the film to leadership at Marvel, and in return, I was removed from the project in the middle of moving to Atlanta for production, and then had my role on season 2 of X-Men 97 aggressively marginalized. DeMayo says he has the receipts and eyewitnesses to back up his claims, and rather than dump them on the internet, he would prefer to relay them to authorities at Marvel and DC so that those responsible are able to receive what I was not, a full and fair investigation away from the public eye. This is me trying to do the right thing, and this is Marvel's chance to do the same. And then we end it here with Bo DeMayo's attorney, Brian Friedman, filing a lawsuit against Marvel on Tuesday, seeking to invalidate the non-disparagement provision in his separation agreement. Friedman contends that the agreement violates a new California law that limits NDAs and requires that they allow an employee to disclose information about unlawful acts in the workplace, such as harassment and discrimination. Violating Bo's statutory California rights will cost Marvel this case, but more importantly, Marvel can no longer stop the truth from coming out. And there we have it. I mean, let's see if Elon Musk jumps on board and links it to the Gina, because Marvel, Disney, Marvel, it's all sort of connected. Let me know what you think of this. Like I said, this is all the things that we had guessed and supposed and honestly hoped that the reason was, as opposed to anything more nefarious, is that it's just, yes, Bo actually was a fan. He did understand the characters. He did understand the X-Men. He didn't ruin it the way they wanted. And they got him. They got him. But let's see. Let's see if we can get them. Let me know what you think of all this. Honestly, I'm very interested to see. God, people condemned him so quickly. And yeah. Very interested to see how this shakes out in court. Let me know what you think. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you.
Well, bye.